Hey, this is Jim. It's 11:29 a.m. in San Francisco, California on August the 22nd. Please note that all discussions, analysis, and information presented are for general informational and educational purposes only and should not be construed as financial or any other form of professional advice. So this is going to be a short video. The reason I haven't posted any videos is that there's really nothing to look at, and that's basically track the forecast, which is just flatlining here. Going back real quickly to May, we had this beautiful bullseye hit directly into this zone of strength, hit the $10.75 hidden retest level. Once a hidden retest level's hit, it becomes vibration, and that's why you'll see this 1075 vibration sitting over here above this next zone of strength box. Then what happened was the stock flatline pulled back, started to move up, nicely trending here into our July zone of strength, and Adam Aron came out with his pre-announcement, killed that move, and then even into an even tighter flat line. The setup's real straightforward from an anemoid perspective, and anemoid is the actual active algorithm, and that's why the anemoid terminal has been short the stock for the majority of this entire move down. And only long a couple times with little air pocket moves up, but then against negative weekly velocity, which we knew would force price right back down again. That's why we didn't get too excited about this run, even though we did have that nice air pocket there that was well worth the play on the bullish side. So here's what's going on right now. If the stock can move above the 505 level, which is the anemoid daily trigger, there's a small air pocket up to the weekly trigger at 579. More importantly, the weekly velocity it remains at the downside. It remains negative, but it's so slight at this point that now, as opposed to back here in May when price spiked up to the weekly trigger, but the weekly velocity was pretty severe to the downside, and we knew it would cause this rejection based on history. Now the weekly velocity, although it's negative, is so slightly negative that price can rocket through 579. So, I've said all along that it takes time to repair a stock when its spine has been snapped like this. It's like a human, in the emergency room and then into a hospital bed for, months and months. And then finally taking one step and then walking and then maybe making some progress after that. So we needed to see this weekly velocity repair, and the only thing that can repair weekly velocity is either time or price moving up and time. In this case, since price flatlined sideways for so many months, basically the entire year, we just needed time. We didn't get any help from price moving up. Price has to move up and remain up, for a week or two to repair that weekly velocity, or it just happens naturally if buying's coming in as you trade sideways. So the good news potentially here is that we're moving into one of the more powerful zones of strength. The interesting part about it is, once again, it is sort of opposite forecast to the rest of the market. We've got a really vulnerable, really dangerous looking period here in the stock indexes starting today and especially early next week. But during those same zones of weakness in my stock index models, I'm showing zones of strength for AMC. So, and a couple other stocks like Mullen. It's a matter of whether or not these guys can dark pool enough of what naturally wants to unfold here to suppress the price. And then if they can, then it's pretty easy for them to drive burst basket selling activity into the lit exchange and do those ladder attacks that I've shown everybody on videos. So here's what's going on. If we can get above the 505 level, we can move up to the 579 level very quickly. If we have a high velocity move through 579 and especially a weekly close, so that would take a decent move either later today or tomorrow or both. But if we could close at 579 or higher tomorrow, August the 23rd, then what happens is we actually pancake that weekly velocity or even flip it slightly positive going into next week. And that sets us up in a position to where we enter an air pocket that you can see, because this is a weekly trigger at 579. The next trigger is a monthly trigger. During September, it'll be at the $48 level. It's at 57.41 right now. So, there is a huge air pocket, and I haven't been talking about a huge air pocket in a long time because, again, we were fighting this weekly velocity, and we knew that even if we spiked up to the weekly trigger and through it, which we did right here to attack 1075, that price would want to be slammed right back down again. Again, because it's like the fish swimming against the stream with that negative weekly velocity. But all of that has already changed, and it changes even more dramatically, like I said, if you close a Friday at 579 or higher, then there is literally nothing holding price from moving, all the way up to these types of numbers here. And we've been tracking all these hidden retest levels, so we know that naturally, even if we didn't have a Nimoy to lean on and sort of, the more advanced approach of looking at whether velocity is at our back or in our face, we already know that price naturally wants to attack these hidden retest levels. You guys have seen it happen over and over and over again. And of course, the big move in 2021 started with re-entry into an expanding megaphone melt-up fractal on the back of an attack of a hidden retest level. So you always want to see the hidden retest levels sitting above these thick yellow uptrend lines, which represent the expanding megaphone pattern. So anyway, that's what's in front of us. I'll show you guys really quickly the on-balance volume. And like I said, talk about a flat line. Look at this. So you can also see sort of the rhythm of this, right? So it has that triangle, obviously in this case a contracting triangle, not an expanding triangle look to it, and then just an absolute flat line here, over the past couple weeks. So the key, again, the key tell here that the stock would most likely be wanting to not only re-enter that air pocket we just talked about in the other chart, but start to melt up toward $40 to $50 would be if on-balance volume resolves out of this coiling pattern to the upside and then breaks this previous June on-balance volume high. We don't need to break this high. If we can even break this high, then that sets in place sort of a cup and handle kind of a look, and just technically that's very bullish, even though it's not price that's rendering this chart view, it's the actual indicator itself, on balance volume. So there you go. It's 1.050. So as I said, we don't need to get above this number to start a melt up, but we probably do need to be above this level. And I would imagine that if we're going to break that weekly trigger and enter that air pocket, we'll probably see a super violent move here, something like these moves here, as opposed to just a slow curling up like you're seeing right here. I would think it would be pretty violent and be able to break above that on-balance volume number right there very quickly right out of the gate. So that's it from my side. Hope everyone's doing well and everyone's had a good summer. All I can say is that it looks to me like these guys have painted themselves into a corner, and that they're probably not going to be able to get out of it. Even if we do have a big melt-up move into the $40, $50 level, the stock looks to me like it wants to move down into the high twos one more time. So what we're hoping here is that we don't see on-balance volume resolve to the downside, because that would mean the stock could get cut in half again before we're ready to move back up and hit these hidden retest levels. I'd love to see it happen here over the next 2-3 weeks, and then give people a chance to reposition if they want to, and be in a better position to accumulate more on a move all the way back down again, which is what I think will probably happen. That's it from my side. Good luck, everybody.